all have decisions we make. Some are simple, some are more difficult. Some decisions that we make only last maybe a couple weeks, a couple hours. Some are lifetime decisions. The decision known as a crossroad decision is one that we know there's a distinct difference between the two paths we're about to choose. The one on the right, less traveled, not much change, another day at the office. The one on the left, that path is a crossroad decision, significantly different. Your conscience kicks in, a little bird throws up on your shoulder and says, you're not smart enough, you don't have enough experience, you shouldn't go that way, you're going to fail. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, what I'd like to talk to you about is a crossroad decision in my life. When I went to Purdue many years ago, 70s, I only had one aspiration. It was to get an engineering degree, follow in the footsteps of my father. He had his own firm, logical choice, lasted 3 sons, get an engineering degree. While I was at Purdue, for the first 2 years, I was part of the engineering magazine. And at the engineering magazine, I was more on the production side than the writing side. In the production side, we used the back office of the Purdue Exponent, the daily collegiate newspaper of Purdue. So my sophomore year comes, and the general manager, the only full-time employee of the Purdue Exponent, which is not too different from the Daily Texan, 30,000 distribution, 5 days, 6 days a week, 24, 36 pages, about a $2–3 million operation, comes to me and says, you know a lot about the back office support, you have good interface with people, you should consider interviewing to becoming managing editor of the Purdue Exponent. I thought he was nuts. I'm an engineer. I can't figure out how to put and, but, not, or, can, should. I can't get that in one sentence. I'm not that side. I didn't see myself as a quote editor. But I understood what he was saying, that I understood one side, managing people, understanding the content of the newspaper, so I took the step. He said you got to write a couple-page essay to petition to the board, and you have to interview with a few people. So there it is, my sophomore year. I go into this editorial board in my plaid suit and sit down at the end of the table. 14 people, 28 eyes right at me at the end of the table. I really haven't changed in size, but at the end of the table, I tried to get as small as I could. It just didn't work. Answered their questions, told them, I knew in the doubt of their mind, they're saying, these are journalism students, these are communication students, you have to figure out how to get them all together to get content in the newspaper and make the paper a success. So I tried to answer all the questions. A week later, I get the call, you got the position. Becoming managing editor of that newspaper during that 1 year period did change my life forever. I learned 3 things that are embossed in my mind that will never be changed. One of them is time is of the essence. The second one is you only get one time to get it right. And the third one is use your ears more than your mouth. Time is of the essence. 30,000 papers, you can do the math. We had our own Goss Community Press. The press time is midnight. It doesn't matter what the AP says, doesn't matter what's coming off, doesn't matter what the editors say, someone's going to make a decision, and we're going to press. It takes 4.5 hours to print 30,000 papers and get them in 1,600 boxes around the campus to make sure that those readers, when they walk by at 5 in the morning, can pick up their free newspaper. See, as you know, even at UT, professors don't pay $2 for the American Statesman, and they don't pay $2 for the Lafayette Journal-Courier. They like the free paper. It was a trust between us and the consumer. Learned it very quickly. The other thing was, you only have one chance to get it right. And that has to do with, when that ink goes to that paper, that's it. You're going to know your results the next morning when everybody starts reading that newspaper. And as you would think, you're going to learn more about the things you do wrong than you do right. And there's 3 incidents I remember like yesterday. I got to meet 8 o'clock because we get to be there 8 in the morning till midnight every 5-6 days a week. And I remember there being at 8 o'clock, and I got to meet the dean of the School of Management, 2 of the professors, and yelling basically at us and several of the editors of why we buried Black Thursday, the 3rd largest stock market crash in the U.S., on page 3, and why we didn't put it on the front page. As a matter of fact, one of the professors had predicted it was going to happen in all the other papers, so we didn't get it right. So it's very much focused to get it right. We also got to meet with the first Nobel laureate at Purdue. Well, we knew he was going to be nominated. We knew he was going to get it. We just didn't know that he was going to, we're going to have a nice picture to go along with him and the president of the university. Well, when we wrote the caption of the picture, which we talked about 100 times, we didn't get it right. We said that he had won, instead of the Nobel Prize for Science, that he won the Nobel Peace Prize. So I got to meet Mr. Herbert Brown, and he was a nice guy. He said, with all due respect, I'm not Mother Teresa, because that's who I wanted that year. The third aspect is just, using your ears more than your mouth. Every day at 4 o'clock, all the editors would get together. They'd talk about what their topics were for the next day, what subjects we want to get on the front page, how they want to get those editors or reporters that had good stories to try to get their first byline, and just using your ears more than your mouth. I think the other one was the tragic situations, because in the newspaper you see all realms of people's life, from birth to tragic events, and having people like a family member come in, like a couple come in and talk to the editorial staff about trying to understand what we can do for them when they lost their daughter in a tragic situation on the university, and trying to share with them our commitment to whatever information coming from the police or whatever would come up that we would obligate to them to put on the front page. So it's a lot about listening to their demands. So when I say this Crossroad decision, though I was only a managing editor for a year, and I saw all the things and learned those 3 and many more aspects, I think it's just a note to everyone here that, when that little bird sews up your shoulder, you come along that Crossroad decision, and there's a bunch of naysayers, and you can't go there, you can't do it. Just get rid of the bird and make a decision, go for it. Mr. Toastmaster.